This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hello, bright soul. Thank you for joining me on today's podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up every week. Thank you for your support, for supporting one another, creating a soul circle community. I'm just so grateful that so many people come in and they're drawn and they give their light and support. It just means so much. Community is so important. So I want to thank you for your contribution. And thank you to everyone who has left me a review on iTunes or even just commented and shared my work. Please accept my sincere gratitude. I appreciate you so much. And so for today's podcast, I want to jump right in with everything going on in the world with this virus and everybody freaking out and panicking and buying into the mass fear and contributing to the darkness on the planet instead of the light. It can be challenging for light workers, just for anyone that's trying to be optimistic and keep a level head. Now, I'll tell you, I've done really well with this. I've been through so many challenges in my life where people are panicking around me. Even people that I feel like are strong and stable, they tend to come unglued in situations where stress comes. I mean, the time that comes to mind is when we were furloughed. And I know it wasn't like a pandemic, but years ago we were furloughed for work. And so people around me who were retired, and this was their second job, so they had a retirement income coming in. They had, a family dual income household, and they were freaking out. And I was the one with a single mom, single parent, single income household, wasn't receiving child support. And I was the one that was strong and stable and firm. I was holding it together and I was an anchor. And so here we are again. We're in this crisis, supposedly, where everyone is essentially just buying into the mass media fear. It's not to the degree that we're making it out to be. The fear is making it much worse. It's really a pandemic of fear, not necessarily a pandemic of a virus. And I'm not saying that out of ignorance. I am getting my source data from the CDC. I do work for the medical military health system, and so we are getting fed information. And even our guidance is to stop watching the news. Stop it. Get off the news. Stop getting on social media and just being dragged from one crisis to another, because the reality is a lot of that information is false or inflated. The source with the most updated and accurate information is the Center for Disease Control. If you're interested in protecting yourself because you're wanting to travel or you're needing some information to make an informed decision. But I know I have a couple of people that I'm close to. One of them in particular started sending me all these links and sending me information, like every time someone would be diagnosed with a disease, grabbing it and dwelling on it and just making a dramatic, unnecessary scene. And half of the information is not even verified. And so I had to just completely disconnect because I don't buy into it. And so I get frustrated, and I also don't understand, because I feel like a lot of times people lose their logic. They get so wrapped up in the drama and in what's going on and the fear, and they become part of it instead of stepping out and using logic and light and thinking and their inner wisdom to navigate these times. And so here is what I do. This is my perspective. So events happen, but it's not the event. It's our opinion about the event that shapes our thoughts and our actions and our behaviors. And so that's why I'm very fact driven. Like, let's get the facts and let's compare the facts to the collective. So let's get a better picture about it. The reality of the situation is that the first time you get an immunization, which I don't do, and when I was in the military, I had no choice. And when my daughter was young, she did get her first round of immunizations before I knew what I know about immunizations, but I respect people's rights to choose. But the reality is, the first time you get an immunization or you're exposed to a virus or some type of bug, your immune system is foreign to your immune system, so your immune system doesn't know how to handle it. That's what your immune system does. It starts to react and it does its job and it fights it off. And so to say everyone's freaking out because there's some virus and our immune systems haven't experienced it before. People, of course, anytime your immune system is exposed to something it hasn't been exposed to it before, that's the whole point. You get sick and it's fighting it off. I mean, even this past year when I got the flu, like I shared before, I got it from Orange Theory because, we're in very close contact with one another. And as I shared before, people were running and coughing and not covering their mouth, just inconsiderate and very rude. And people were coming in there saying, oh, I'm recovering from the flu, but I just had to get back in here, which is irresponsible. And so, we do clean and we use wet wipes and things, but it's just we're in such close proximity and the virus is airborne and people all over in that place were coughing without covering their mouth. And so my body was exposed to something. And guess what? I was sick for 3 or 4 days and I'm still here talking to you right now. And my immune system did its job and life went on. And so I think we really need to just put that into perspective. As I shared before, take precautions based on your inner wisdom and not based on the collective fear, because you know the difference. And so I am planning to travel. My travel plans have not changed. They have not been canceled. I am making logical decisions based on the facts from the Center for Disease Control. I am monitoring with my people that I work with, like my agency. We work for the health care agency. And so I'm getting logical information. I'm staying off of the news, and I'm really having a very strong logical filter about how I'm receiving information when people are just throwing it up on me because they're freaking out and they like the drama of it. You can feel the energy of people. It's fearful, but then they want to talk about it because that little bit of drama, they enjoy it. And so the couple of people in my life that are kind of close that I got on that, they got on the train and they're enjoying it. I just had to be very blunt and say, look, you're not helping. And so I'm not there. I'm not going to join it. I don't want to hear it. Don't send me that stuff. I'm keeping myself in a really high vibrational state. And I want to contribute to the light in the world. I actually want to help. And if I'm in fear like everyone else and freaking out and watching CNN and, oh my gosh, this celebrity got sick. Okay, people get the flu every year. Yes, it's something new, but I don't even get immunization. So someone was telling me, I know people get the flu, but the scary thing is there's no immunization. And I just looked at her and I said, I haven't got an immunization in 12 years of any kind. So even if there was an immunization, I'm not getting the immunization. So it doesn't matter. And so I really just wanted to share this to put in a little bit of logic in case you have been getting swept away, because it happens. I have a close friend of mine. She's really smart, and she was telling me, she felt herself getting swept up in it, but then her inner wisdom kicked in and said, wait a minute, let me be logical. And so I remember once I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer share, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect of the difference between a flower and a weed is an opinion. It's a judgment. And so I've really been instilling that with my daughter because, at school and all the kids are freaking out, and she had shared that we were going to travel for spring break and then everyone was freaking out. Well, I told her, I just want you to stop telling people you're traveling because I wouldn't put us in danger, and I'm very connected. And so if we choose not to travel, we may choose not to. And if we don't, that's our decision. But I was trying to let her know that these people that are trying to scare you, it's because they don't have the facts. And so we want to really just get very good at allowing people to have their experience however they choose it, but not letting it influence us. And so what I told her is when they start freaking out, and because she had like children going, oh my gosh, if you travel, you're going to get this virus. And I told her to tell them this, and this is the response that I use. While that may be true for you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true for me. And so if you want to have that reality, go ahead, but that's not my reality. And I've really had to practice instilling in her that we don't make decisions based on collective fear. We make decisions based on the light that's pouring into our personal lives and our inner intuition. And we're also getting the facts, because that's part of being smart in the 3D world is Let me make a logical decision, but let me also consult my inner wisdom and get the facts, consult my inner wisdom, and then go forward regardless of what the collective says. And so the way that I've really been looking at this, I found a lot of blessings and gratitude in this whole pandemic, everyone freaking out. And I don't want to say everyone, because I'm sure you're listening to this, you're not freaking out. I'm not freaking out. I talked to my dad last night. He's not freaking out. We're all on the same page. My daughter's trying not to freak out, but she's young and she'll tell people logical things. Like, for instance, Colorado has just as many cases as the place that we wanted to travel to. So Colorado isn't necessarily any safer than another state that we want to travel to. We're not trying to travel overseas. And so I gave her those statistics and she was sharing those. But, kids her age, they don't know. They're getting fed from their parents who are getting fed from mass media and all those types of things. And so I told her, just stop telling them and let them know, this is really just an invitation to improve our own emotional and mental health. How strong are you on the inside? And when you feel yourself getting caught up in the fear, I've been doing a lot of meditation. Pranic Healing posted a beautiful meditation specifically for this virus. I'll post the link of it in the show notes. And I've been doing a lot of breath work. And I've actually enjoyed it because I've disconnected so much from email, even because email is like different businesses are trying to assure everyone that they're cleaning their business. And I'm getting way too many emails about this. And so, and the social media is just, I can barely tolerate to be on Facebook for more than 3 seconds because unless it's my business page and I'm connecting with light workers and it's information to help others, but people are all getting caught up in it. And so, they cancel school, colleges are canceled, events are being canceled. You know what? This gives us an opportunity to physically connect with one another, spend time in person with one another. It gives us an opportunity to slow down, to evaluate what are we doing mentally and physically to take really good care of ourselves. I did some breath work, which was amazing the other night. My work schedule's been pretty busy because of all of this, and I've been taking clients. I take clients in the evening. And so after that, what I've been doing is I've been doing breath work. I've been doing yoga, my fitness classes. They've made a couple of changes because they don't want our classes to be as full, which I appreciate because I did get sick in my fitness class. I'm fairly confident of that just because of all of the people that show up contaminated and are inconsiderate of those. And so they've actually made some adjustments so that we skip a station instead of working out station by station. So that way we're not so close. So if someone is, infected and they just cough and don't cover their mouth, like I watch so many people do, we won't spread it. But what I love about this is that it's made people evaluate how well they're washing their hands. So it's actually forced a consciousness of cleanliness and self-care and taking very good care of yourself. And I love that. And I had to go to the store yesterday because we were getting snow today, and I'm recording this ahead of time because this weekend's really busy. So I'm actually recording this on a Friday before I post it on a Sunday. And so I had to go to the store, and the store was packed because of the snow, also because they canceled school and because everyone's panicking. But I had such beautiful conversations with people. I was waiting in line. I waited in line for half an hour, and I just had really nice conversations and connections with people. And that part I like. There's an element of a community coming together and loving and supporting one another when situations outside of ourselves come in, and people get in fear because they feel they can't control things. And there's certain things you can't control, but you can control how you think and what opinions you choose to have about events going on. And so I'm just choosing to look at it as an opportunity to have the collective look at the ways in which they are taking good care of themselves or not, or improve the way they're taking care of themselves. And if we have to stay home and be quarantined, I'm going to make the most of it. I've been listening to mantras. I've been doing a lot of meditating and clearing things. I do that anyway, but the way the world is starting to quiet down, at least my world is quieting down because I have to disconnect from people in my life who just like the drama and want to latch on to every news story. I just don't want to deal with it. So it's caused me to disconnect and reconnect to my higher self even more. And so By doing that, my vibration gets bigger, my aura gets stronger, I feel more grounded, I feel more connected, and I'm just inside my inner fortress that I've built, and I do everything I can to maintain it. Now, there's chances that I'll get this virus. There's a chance that I'll get infected. But you know what? I believe that there is a plan for everything, and I believe that each of us have a purpose and a plan on earth, and when it's my time, it's my time. If I've done all I can do, if I'm listening to my inner guidance, because I'm not acting carelessly, I'm very connected and I'm listening. Like, I even I'm asking in meditation, is it okay for us to continue to travel? And I got a very firm yes. And then I get signs throughout the day. I do readings, I do oracle cards, and I pay attention. I'm vigilant, I'm present. And so I'll see numbers that are numbers for me as confirmation, and I've been seeing them throughout the day. It'll be, on my receipt, or I was pumping gas and I get those numbers, as payment for my gas. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm listening. And so it's just always an invitation to deepen your spiritual practice. Take really good care of yourself. I'm going to post a link to one of my most favorite mantras that I've been listening to. I don't want to say her name incorrectly, Deva Premal. I don't want to say it incorrectly because I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced the same way more than once. But I will also post that link in the show notes if you're interested, because it does bring a sense of calm. It brings light into the planet. It's a beautiful mantra. And so I'll be randomly just going throughout the day, and I hadn't listened to that mantra in a long time, but it started playing in my head. So I'm like, oh, okay, that must be something that I need right now to clear the space, to put that vibration out, to be that vibration. So I've been playing that. And so that's all I really wanted to share. And I want you all to know that I appreciate you. We're going to get through it. It may get a little bit worse before it gets better, but it's all part of evolution. These things come. They've come over time. This isn't any different than any other time it's come. I mean, we all have there's different spins of it, but the hope is that this will raise the collective consciousness and it will bring some positive outcomes. And I feel like right now it has. I feel very grateful, very grateful. And I actually enjoy seeing people washing their hands. I always do that, wash my hands. I always have hand sanitizer. I'm always sanitizing stuff. So the actual practices are no different for me. I do stay home when I'm sick. So it isn't any different than what I've been doing, but it's nice to see other people be mindful of it. And I really enjoy watching humanity raise in consciousness, even if it's a fearful event that basically had to take place for this to happen. So let's do an energy healing. And for this energy healing, I just want to run some shields on you, and I'll do some sweeping to clear away any of the mass collective fear that may have impacted you in some way. And then I just want to pour strength into your energy field. I want to flood you with lots of beautiful healing energy to just help you to be super strong and certain in your own guidance, in your own wisdom. You can make your own decisions from your higher self because you're connected. And people are free to do whatever it is that they want, but it doesn't mean you have to do it too. And so go ahead and uncross your arms and legs, and I will start the healing. run in some shields, and then we will close. Okay, you can start coming back into your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, taking a nice couple of deep breaths. Okay, and so it is. We are all going to get through this together. I am here. I think it's important to stay in community and stay connected and encouraging one another. I want to thank you for what you're doing on the planet, the fact that you are trying to take a higher path, stay the higher path. It's important. We need it. I hope that you have a beautiful week and just do what feels right to you. Do the practices that make you feel whole and strong, and tuning into that inner wisdom and operating from that place. It's important, and it won't lead you astray. All right, I am going to go get some things done, and I wish you a beautiful week. Stay lit up and glowing and shine your light onto the planet. It will get better. Take care. Bye-bye.